everybody, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I hope you enjoyed the first segment of the program with Governor Deval Patrick. It was quite exciting over at Town Hall that day, and unfortunately, Eileen, you missed out on the. You missed out. He might have wanted you to go to a movie with him or something.
My whole life could have changed in an instant.
I told him about you.
I heard. That was really nice, and I did get a chance to see it here on Brian's computer. So it was nice to see you actually prepared with notes, although sometimes I think you do better off the cuff with your interviews, Brian. But you did a good job. He was an interesting speaker, and you came up with some great questions.
Hey,
good job, Brian.
Thank you.
Oh, the camera work could have been better. No,
Dawn, did you hear that?
I usually do the camera. That's why I was.
Dawn did a great job.
And it was funny. My kids, when they found out that the governor was going to be interviewed, they were dying to come with me. And for some reason, Brian, they never want to come and see this show being filmed, but they were looking forward to seeing the governor. So everybody in the Maher household was upset that I was sick on Monday.
Well,
yeah. But let me tell you, can I talk a little bit about what the governor said? I was.
Well, you didn't hear much, did you?
Well, I did. I heard.
Did you watch most of the show?
Yeah, Brian showed it for me here.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
I'm going to talk movie stuff, because he talked movies. And
we're going to do movie reviews in a minute. And folks, if you just tuned in, this is Eileen Maher. I'm Brian Kelly, and this is Talk of the Town.
I like how he talked about Wally, and I am going to be reviewing that today. And what I really liked is the point he made about his daughter saw it without him. And that kind of broke my heart because I know my kids are going to be getting older. And, of course, who do I take to the movies, especially a movie like Wally, which is an animated, computer-generated animated film. I take the kids with me. And that broke my heart just a little bit that she went without him. So I hope that she takes him. I hope that his daughter comes back around and takes Dad to see Wally, and he should definitely see it. It was a great film.
He's going to go to Wally with me, he
said.
Great
film. What else did I want to say? Oh, I know what. I was going to ask Governor Patrick in person, but boy, would we love...
Maybe he'll be watching this. I'll send him over a copy.
I hope so. We would love to have the representative from the film office come out and do our show, because like you said, Governor Patrick's office has done such a great job in getting films produced here in Massachusetts. I think he said it went from 2 1 year to 14 the next, and the money that it brings to the community, the excitement that it brings to the community. When they were filming The Box recently in town, I mean, I was over there a couple of times. You were over at the set a couple of times.
They almost confiscated. They almost took our camera.
They almost took our camera. They wouldn't talk to us. They wouldn't let us talk to them. But they were very nice about not talking to us.
But nicely they were taking the camera.
It was so exciting just to see. There was a lot of kids. I think there was a half day one day when they were filming. I think it was right before Thanksgiving, as a matter of fact. And word spread rapidly. They're filming on Thompson Lane. Cameron Diaz is going to be there. There must have been 70 or 100 people around the set. And it was just so much fun. And we saw Cameron Diaz. We saw James Marsden, who played he's going to be in The Box as well with Cameron Diaz, but he also played the Prince in Enchanted.
That should be out soon.
Yeah, that should be coming. The Box, I think, might be November, either this November or maybe a little bit later. They film, and it actually will probably be later than that. It'd take a long time from filming to actually.
Well, it takes many hours to get this on the air. And I said there's going to be a couple of sound studios they're working on, so maybe we can film our show at one of the sound studios. Maybe it'll come out even better.
That would be nice. Although Brian's getting pretty high tech, you should see the soundboard he has here. So, Governor Patrick, I am hoping that you'll think about having your film office representative contact Brian. We'd love to.
Eileen wants to know if you could have a state movie reviewer on the payroll, because
I'm available.
All right, let's get some movie reviews here.
It has been way too long since we last got together, and I have seen so many things it was really hard to cut down what I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to talk briefly about a whole bunch of things, and I'm going to start with what I saw on DVD first. The first one is rated R. It's called Talk to Me. It was directed by...
Talk to me. Talk to me.
And who did I run into? I ran into somebody and I told them about. So anyway, it's called Talk to Me. It's a 2007 film. It's out on DVD. Directed by a female African-American director, Casey Lemons. And I don't know of too many female African-American directors. And when I saw the movie, and the movie talks about, it's a real-life story of talk radio maverick, Petey Greene. And it takes place during the 60s, during the Civil Rights Revolution, during the death of Martin Luther King. And it tells the story of Petey Greene, who became a radio talk show person while he was in prison. He had a prison talk show.
Maybe you can have a... Never mind.
And it starred Don Cheadle, who you might know from Hotel Rwanda.
I didn't see Hotel Rwanda.
Oh, that's another great film. He was also... What was he just recently in that I loved him in? Oh, well, I forget. Anyway, and it also stars Chiwetel Ejiofor, who I mentioned last show on Red Belt. Remember the karate movie I told you about? And he's a Nigerian-born actor, and he was incredible. And the two of them Don Cheadle, who plays Petey Green, and Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Dewey Hughes, are at odds. Petey Green is the tough street-talking dude, and Dewey Hughes is the guy who's come up through the ranks. He works for a very successful radio station. And they get together, and they kind of butt heads at first, but become very good friends. And the show just details what it was like at that time, how he became so popular because he was really a man of the people, and he talked to people the way they wanted to be talked to.
Like we do.
Like we do. The other probably outstanding cast members are Martin Sheen plays the radio station owner, and he was incredible, so understanding, so funny. You've got to see this movie. So Talk to Me.
It was a good movie.
Great movie. Who else was in it? A young woman I've never heard of before, Taraji Henson.
Did you say this is just on DVD,
it's on DVD.
not at the movies?
No, it was in the movies a while ago. It was on the movies, yeah. It didn't.
Like
unfortunately, it didn't last very long. Yeah. I'll tell you this. It's rated R.
What did they do? Put it at one movie theater to say it was at the movies?
I mean, it was out for a little while.
Okay.
I don't remember it being out at like Randolph. It was probably out places like maybe Dedham Community, maybe over at Landmark at Kenmore Square. But a young woman, Taraji Henson, plays Petey Green's girlfriend, Vernell, and she was absolutely hysterical, and I hope that we see more of her. But anyway, it's called Talk to Me. Extremely raw language, but very, very...
raw.
Very, very raw language.
If we had it on Milton K, it would be beep, beep,
It was funny
beep.
and poignant all at the same time. So
Okay.
Talk to Me, I can highly recommend that.
All right.
And the other one that I saw on DVD was The Other Boleyn Girl is the name of it.
The other what?
The Other Boleyn Girl. That's the name. Like
Boleyn.
Boleyn, like Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's
Oh.
wife.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know what happened to her, right?
I don't want. What happened to her?
She got her head chopped
Oh,
off. You know
right,
that.
yeah.
You know, he got sick of one, he chopped their head off. Anyway, it stars Natalie Portman and Scarlett Johansson as Boleyn's sisters. Natalie as Anne, the one that everybody knows, and Scarlett Johansson as Mary, her younger sister. And it's funny, it was a contrast in light and dark. Scarlett Johansson is very, very light, very, very pale skin, very, very light eyes, very, very blonde hair. Natalie Portman, darker hair, olive skin, and the darker eyes. And it stars Eric Bana as Henry VIII. And it just talked about history and what was going on behind the scenes at this time and how did she become his wife. And I don't know how historically accurate it is. I'm not very good at Tudor history. But it was really, really a great historical piece. The performances across the board were incredible. And Kristen Scott Thomas, who I haven't seen in a long time, and she's in one of my favorite movies called The Horse Whisperer. Don't know if you ever heard of that.
I've seen the show on the
Let me see, I
National
think I was-
Geographic Channel. The horse,
That's the
dog
Whisperer.
whisperer.
It was the Horse Whisperer.
Same thing.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Horse Whisperer, I can highly recommend that. And I do recommend The Other Boleyn Girl if you like that type of period piece. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was PG-13. A little sexuality more hinted at than right out shown. But great character development, great interactions between the characters, and especially between the two sisters. And apparently during filming, both Natalie Portman and Scarlett Johansson really got along well, really liked each other, and you can see it in this film. It was really, really well done.
Another
Okay.
one that never made the movie house.
No, it did, but again, it was
For a flicker.
It wasn't out long. It was
Okay.
this one actually. That was actually out at. I remember that being at Randolph. I didn't see it when it was out, and it's based on the novel by what's her name? Philippa. Did I write down here something? Philippa Gregory. She writes a lot of like historical fiction. British writer, and I know a lot of my friends have read her
Two thumbs
books.
up on both of those?
I would give 2 thumbs up, no question. 2 thumbs up, both of those. So those are the 2 DVDs for the month. Talk to Me and The Other Boleyn Girl. Completely different. You'll love them. They're
It's not The Other
so
Bowling Girl. She
completely
wasn't
different.
bowling.
The Other Boleyn Girl. Anne Boleyn, yeah.
All right,
All
what's
right, now
next?
to some movies that are out in the theaters. I'm going to start with Kung Fu Panda.
And what else are you going to go to next? So if somebody's like doesn't
Okay.
want to hear about Kung Fu
You want to hear
Panda
what
but
I'm
wants to
going
hear
to
the
review
next
lots
one,
and lots of things tonight.
What?
Kung Fu Panda, Journey to the Center of the Earth 3D. Of course, The Dark Knight.
they're going to hang on just for that.
Meet Dave. You might not have heard of that. And if we have time, I'm going to pan a couple. Get Smart and Mamma Mia, which I hated terribly. So
Which
anyway,
one,
hang in there.
Which one did you hate terribly?
I hated both of them, Get Smart and Mamma Mia. So let's get to Kung Fu Panda. Of course, you know that's out now in theaters. It's a 2008 CG-generated cartoon, I guess. I don't know what you call it now anyway. Do they call it cartoons? CG-generated movie. It's directed by Mark Osborne, and this is basically his directorial debut, and he co-directs along with Mark Stevenson. And both of the men have been involved before with lots of TV, lots of SpongeBob, and Weird Al Yankovic's videos. If you know Weird Al Yankovic,
Yes.
you know, he's wonderful. The cast was a lot of fun. Jack Black plays Po, the main character, the panda. And the story revolves around Po kind of being a slacker and somehow being chosen as the chosen one to save the people of his village from the marauding, what's his name, Tai Lung. And he is a snow leopard. He's going to come and he's going to decimate the village. And he was played by Ian McShane, and I think I've mentioned him before from a show called Deadwood. And if you've never had a chance to see Deadwood, it was a Showtime original production. You can get it on DVD. It is available through the library. I highly recommend Deadwood. It was only on for about 3 or 4 seasons, and Ian McShane is an incredible, incredible villain. But some of the other casts in it is Dustin Hoffman. He plays, the wise old, his name is Shifu, and I don't know what kind of animal he's supposed to be. Angelina Jolie, who just recently had twins, God bless her, plays a tigress. Can you imagine what a stretch for her? Jackie Chan plays a monkey. Seth Rogen from Knocked Up plays a mantis, and Lucy Liu plays a viper, and David Cross, who I don't know who he is, he plays a crane. And they are basically the, what are they called? The Furious Five. So you've got the tigress, the monkey, the mantis, the viper, and the crane. And they're kung fu masters. And Jack Black as Poe tries to join up with them and become one of them so that he can help save the village. And it's basically a story of his evolution from slacker. And even though Shifu, played by Dustin Hoffman, tries to train him and tries to find what exactly can I do to get this guy motivated, well, he finally finds the answer. Guess what Poe likes to do? He's kind of a rotund little panda, so what does he like to do?
A rotund little panda?
Yes.
Okay.
What does he like to do then?
Roll.
If you're rotund, why did you get rotund in the first place?
He likes to eat.
He likes to eat. So
come on, of course I
and
knew
that's
that.
Shifu, being the wise master that he is, realizes, aha, that's what I'm going to use as my, kind of like training a dog, I guess, biscuits. Cute movie, rated, it was PG. Actually, it wasn't G. There is some violence. And there was actually one scene that I found a little disturbing. It's almost like a nuclear device is exploded nearby. And I don't think anybody, the younger children wouldn't realize it, but it's actually a mushroom cloud that goes up in the background during...
nice.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, that's a little disturbing. But I asked the kids, I brought, all the kids with me after, and I said, what'd you think? Were you a little bit upset by that? And they're like, what are you talking about? No, that was funny. Everything was great. So that
They
went
haven't lived
right
in
over
the
their
Cold
head. That's
War.
the truth. Look at that. Isn't that
They
something?
don't understand the fallout shelters
Yeah,
and the
but I think the
warnings and everything.
they shouldn't have done that. I didn't like that part. It disturbed me. I'm there. I'm watching it. It shouldn't have been there.
Well, some
So,
people
but
have
I'll
said
give it
you're-
2 thumbs up. It was
Some people would
cute.
say you may be a little disturbed.
Oh, brother. Cute. 2 thumbs up. Not as good as I thought it would be. I thought it could have been a whole lot funnier than it was. It was a
Was it
little
a
more
Disney film?
serious.
Was it
It's
Disney?
Oh, good question. I didn't even write it down.
No.
It is Disney. I'm pretty sure it's Disney.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, probably. Well, I won't say my favorite, but my second favorite of the bunch. Journey to the Center of the Earth in 3D, of course, based on the
Did you get the
Jules
glasses?
Verne novel.
Did you have to wear glasses?
Let me tell you about that. I was very mad. Because as usual, I go to the movies with how many people? A gazillion people. It's the summertime. I have 4 kids. It's
Okay.
always me, the 4 kids, and then a friend or 2. We have a 7-passenger van, so whatever the van can hold, that's what we're bringing.
No double bucket.
No
buckling,
double buckling, no. So we go, and I'm bringing all these kids, and I go to pay, and the woman says, it's $3 more per ticket because it's 3D. And I said, are you
$3 more?
Are you kidding me? I don't want to make a big stink because, of course, it's summertime
course
and it's
you
a
do wanna
big
make a big
line.
stink.
But I'm like, that's outrageous. But I guess it's
Did
$3.
you pay?
Of course I did. I guess it's $3 because you get your own personal set of 3D
And you get to
glasses
keep
that
them.
you take home with you.
That cost them $1.
Oh, I'm sure it cost them 22 cents, So we take our 3D glasses, and I love this movie so much.
Did you bring them with you today so you can show
You
the
know, I
audience?
forgot to. I meant to. They look a lot better than they used to. They actually look like cool sunglasses now. You know how it
In
used
the
to be
future,
blue
we're
and
thinking of
red?
having the movie review section in 3D.
That would be awesome. You know how they used to be blue and red?
I don't know
the
how
3D
they.
glasses,
I don't know how
they'd
they used to
They'd
be.
be cheap cardboard with little blue and red film
Okay.
in the lenses, and that's what made it 3D. They're much better now, and 3D has gotten much, much better.
Oh, so
You're gonna
it
love
was
this
cool?
movie. It was really cool. So the sunglasses cost you $3, but I took, you get to keep your
What was
sunglasses.
the name of the movie again? Now they got me interested. Now?
Journey to the Center
Oh, yeah,
of the Earth.
okay, that's
3D.
right.
Anyway, you get to keep your glasses.
Okay.
So I guess Hannah Montana's in 3D on Disney this month. You can wear those glasses
Oh,
to
all right.
watch it. It's directed by Eric.
What, you can watch 3D on your TV at home?
I don't know. That's what Noelle's telling me, that Hannah Montana's in 3D, and she's all excited because she has her good 3D glasses. I'll let you know next show
Let me
how that
know.
went.
Okay.
Directed by a man named Eric Brevig, and he has, in the past, just directed TV, most notably Xena, Warrior Princess, so he has some experience with kind of fantasy fiction. This is basically his first feature film, and he worked mostly as a visual effects artist, and I find that very interesting. This movie was very beautiful and very pleasant to watch. The cast stars one of my favorites, Brendan Fraser, and he's coming out in a new Mummy movie that opens Friday, and I cannot wait to see it. If you've never seen the Mummy movies, there are 2 of them right now. Please see them before you see the 3rd one, but if you don't get a chance to, it doesn't matter, you'll still enjoy
I have to
this.
see 3 Mummy movies?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Mummy
2,
movie my whole life.
Oh,
I
they're
gotta
the
see
best
3
Mummy
in a week.
movies, the best Mummy movies you've ever seen, and I love Brendan Fraser for a whole bunch of reasons. He's physically attractive, but he's not a skinny pretty boy, he's a big, masculine,
She likes a big manly
perfect
man.
for the role, absolutely perfect.
A hungry man kind of
And
man.
if you've never seen, if you think that's all Brendan Fraser is good for, you need to see a movie called
No, I didn't say that.
Gods and Monsters. If you want to see what a really incredible dramatic actor.
Gods
He
and
truly is. Gods
Monsters?
and Monsters. He's a
Okay.
wonderful actor. He plays Trevor Anderson. Joss Hutcherson, you'll know him from Bridge to Terabithia,
Yes.
plays his nephew Sean Anderson. And Sean, the young boy, his dad has recently passed away, but they've never found him. He was a scientist doing some geological surveys, and he never
It
returned.
was insurance fraud.
So he's come to spend some quality time with his uncle Trevor, played by Brendan Fraser. And the only other
Did they ever find the dad later?
the only other cast member of note is a woman named Anita Bryant, and she plays
Anita Bryant?
not Bryant,
Oh.
Bryant, and she plays their Swedish or Nordic tour guide, her mountain guide, Hannah Gersian. Her father was very much into Jules Verne and his work, and they come and find her because now they've kind of found clues as to where the young boy's father might possibly be. And as well, Trevor, Brendan Fraser, is a scientist as well. The
So
movie
this
is a
could be
little
almost
bit-
like a rescue mission.
Yes, it's kind of like a rescue mission.
Ah.
So, you've all probably read
Don't wanna
Journey
give
to
it
the
away,
Center of
folks.
the Earth, or you've seen one or another version of it. And this is not a remake of it, it's a twist of it.
Okay.
So it's they go to the center of the Earth. It's so much fun because of the 3D effects. The performances are great. It's just a really fun summertime movie. It's rated, I think it's just PG, or no, it's probably PG-13 because there are some pretty scary sequences. There are some dinosaurs, there are some bugs, there's some peril, and it's all in 3D.
A lot of stuff down there,
so
folks.
it's lots of fun, lots and lots of fun. I highly recommend it, and I recommend it probably most highly because it's produced by Walden Media, and I've spoken about Walden Media many times in the
Are
past.
they one of the groups that are trying to put the soundstage in Massachusetts?
I bet they are. They
I don't
are.
know. I don't know. I
Walden
haven't-
Media is a
I didn't ask
production
the governor.
company created by 2 Tufts University students with the mission in mind to bring high-quality children's literature to the big screen. And some of their earlier films are Holes, which I love, Around the World in 80 Days, which I've always raved about with
Well,
Jackie
they did the other one, the Witch, the Wardrobe.
Yes,
yeah,
the,
the Warlock, Witch, Warlock, or whatever that is.
Lion, the Witch,
Yeah,
and the Wardrobe.
yeah, there it is.
The Chronicles of Narnia, which unfortunately Prince Caspian didn't do as well, so I'm hoping that they'll be able to continue and make the rest. And they also did Nim's Island, which I reviewed recently. So I highly recommend it. Go out, see it. It just won't be the same at home. You've got to see it on the big screen. You've got to pay those extra $3.
Bring extra money with you. Forget the popcorn.
Get your glasses.
Or sneak your own drinks and popcorn.
But the glasses and the 3D has gotten so much better. I just sat there, I laughed, I screamed.
So how much did it cost you
love it.
total to get in for that
Well,
day?
the ticket for me, I think, was $7.75.
What time did you go? At 10 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning?
I go in the morning. I don't go at night. Yeah,
Oh.
you know me.
Well, you work at night.
I work at night, so I'm there in the morning. It was a blast. That I can highly recommend for the entire family, except for the little kids. It was a little bit scary.
PG-13.
Next is a movie called Meet Dave, probably a movie you've maybe never even heard
I never met
of.
Dave.
It's a 2008 Eddie Murphy vehicle that has gotten absolutely positively no public relations effort at all, and I don't know why.
And was it good?
It was incredibly funny. I laughed from the moment it started till the second it ended. I'd seen the previews for it and was shocked that I had never heard of it before, because Eddie Murphy, he's a big name star. They're usually out pushing his stuff. Nothing done for this, and an absolute shame. It tells the story of an alien world, and they send their spaceship in the form of a human man, Eddie Murphy, to the Earth because they need to steal all our water supply in order for their planet to survive.
Makes sense.
Eddie Murphy plays 2 roles. He's the captain of the ship that is Eddie Murphy. So inside Eddie Murphy's head, you see this is the bridge. This is like the Starship Enterprise.
The bridge? Is this the bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wonder how they thought that up. That was pretty
Absolutely. So
creative.
Eddie Murphy is the captain of the starship Dave. Dave is the starship in the form of Eddie Murphy. And he has to learn how to be human, and it's very hysterical. You know, Eddie Murphy's physical humor is unparalleled. He meets up with a young boy who finds apparently they send a little probe. They send a probe, that's what it is, to Earth first. And the probe is supposed to suck up the oceans, except the probe doesn't land in the ocean. It lands right at the foot of the Statue of Liberty instead of, what's that, Hudson Bay or whatever. So they have to come get the probe and put it in the ocean to get the water. So they send Eddie Murphy's ship to get it. A little boy picks up the rock. Eddie Murphy has to go and find the boy. The interaction between Dave with the mother of the little boy and the little boy. And let me just tell you about the cast. It's Elizabeth Banks plays Gina Morrison, the boy's mother. And a boy I never heard of before, Austin Myers, plays Josh, the little boy that finds it, who comes to Earth. And he was wonderful. But the interaction between the three of them, and again, I don't know what's going on. Dads are dying left and right. This little boy's dad is dead, too. I guess divorce is out, death is in, because for years and
Insurance
years...
fraud again.
Yeah, for years and years, it was all divorced families. Now dads are dead, so watch out, guys. Lots of familiar faces as the crew, a couple of Saturday Night Live alumni, and this is the name of the crew members. It's kind of, I guess, a little bit of a spoof of Starship Enterprise. There's the captain, and that's Eddie Murphy, and then there's his number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. It just goes on and on. Nobody else has a name, and probably the cast member. I did write her name down. Gabrielle Union plays, I think it's number 3. His number 2 or his number 3, but she's on the bridge with the captain. And she is wonderful, and she becomes his love interest. It's a really cute story, absolutely appropriate for the whole family, absolutely hysterical. Eddie Murphy has never been funnier. Why, oh why, this movie has not been played up more, I will not understand. I don't know if this is something Eddie Murphy owed somebody or something he tried to get done and didn't get approval. You know what I mean? You never know that the inner workings, but you'd think a studio would want to make the most of, I think, a big-name star like Eddie Murphy. It was also directed by a man named Brian Roberts. He's from Brooklyn, New York. That's probably why it was set in New York. And he did Norbit,
he didn't want
again,
to
another
travel
Eddie
far.
Murphy thing, and the Shaggy Dog. So lots of fun. Please go see it. I want it to do well.
Meet Dave.
Meet Dave.
Good one. How are we doing time?
2 thumbs up. We do. We have time.
Oh,
Next is Wall-E, and if you haven't seen it yet, you've got to get out there and see
I'm
it.
going to it with the governor.
Good.
The governor, if you're watching this, I'm waiting for a phone call from your press secretary.
He's
going
with his daughters. He should go.
No,
with
they
his
already
daughters.
saw it.
That's right.
His daughters are grown up.
So what?
They already saw it.
See it again. You should see it again. It's a great flick.
The daughters
Again,
can come.
2008 Pixar production directed by a man named Andrew Stanton. He's actually from Boston. He's 42 years old. He wrote the story, and he has been with Pixar basically almost since its inception in 1990.
The director's from Boston?
Yeah, I don't know if he just grew
Maybe
up
we can
in
get him
Boston
on the show.
or lived in Boston. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? So Andrew Stanton, if you're around, if your family's around, give Brian
He's watching
a
this.
call.
I'm sure he's watching. We got at least 3 hits last month on YouTube, so he was probably one of the.
Me.
He was probably one of the 3. Oh, those were all you?
I didn't get a chance to see the show on TV, so I had to watch it on YouTube. And then I watch it, and then I have to stop, and then I watch. He directed Finding Nemo, another great Pixar movie, and he co-directed A Bug's Life, one of the earlier ones. The cast is made up of basically people that I've never heard of before. So I'm not even going to.
Because they made up people.
Except for Fred Willard. It's a computer-generated film. And the only real-life person you see in it is Fred Willard. He plays Shelby Forthright. And he is the CEO of Buy and Large chain store, where everybody goes to buy all their stuff. It's Buy and it's Large. Buy, B-U-Y, and Large.
I didn't say anything.
You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Well,
it's a story of the Earth. Everybody had to leave the Earth because we consumed so much and wasted so much. There was no more room for people. There was nothing left alive.
Sounds like we were headed.
So a big, huge spaceship loaded everybody, and off they went to the spaceship in the sky. And left on Earth, I guess the only thing left is Wall-E, W-A-L-L-E, and that stands for Waste Allocation Load Lifter Earth Class. And his job is to basically go around. He works in a dump, and basically the whole Earth is a landfill, I guess, a big dump. He goes around, and he's like a trash compactor. He's kind of square. He'll scoop the trash into his belly, make it into a nice square, and then, like Legos, build these incredibly tall
And then he
buildings.
converts it into a golf course?
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
but
okay.
I've heard that can
That's
be
a local joke.
successful.
That's a local joke.
Successful venture. And he's all alone. All the other Wall-Es have rusted out. All the other machines that are on Earth are no longer functioning. It's just him, and he continues to do his job. That's what he's programmed for. He lives in a little spaceship on the side of the hill, and anything that he collects of interest that he likes out while he's in the landfill, he takes home with him. Frisbees, a DVD, VCR, and he watches Hello, Dolly all the time.
Is he a bit of a space yacht?
No. And he's entranced by a particular scene in Hello, Dolly where they're dancing and a man and a woman hold hands. You could tell that he's just so lonely. Poor little Wally. Well, lo and behold, the spaceship hovering somewhere above the Earth has sent out, I guess, some kind of probes to find another
What's with
planet.
all these movies with
find
probes?
another planet that we can live on. We can't stay up in this spaceship forever. So Eve comes, and she finds a tiny little plant growing, and finds Wally as well. And they have a cute little romance, and it's adorable. But once she finds the plant, scoops it in, bang, she goes back to her spaceship, and Wally's left alone. But
Typical woman,
I
just
forget
doing
how
her
he gets
job
back up
and-
there, but he gets up there with her. He hooks a ride up
Okay.
there. So what we see up in the spaceship hovering around is this is what people have evolved into. They don't walk. They ride in big hovering lounging chairs, drinking big gulps, and I guess that's their whole meal. You know, they don't eat food. They just eat this big liquidy goo out of this like big gulp
It's formula for adults.
cup. And everybody's round and roly-poly and doughy.
Doughy.
Doughy, that's what the only way I can describe it. But it's a really...
I'm looking forward to this part of
It's a nice environmentally aware movie. I won't tell you how it ends, but it's a lot of fun. It's enchanting. I'm going to say my favorite part of the movie is probably the first half, before any humans are involved at all. The interaction
We
between...
always screw things up.
Yeah, that's about right. The interaction between Wally and Eve is just so sweet and real. Real for two little
Mechanical machines.
I just loved it. When they get to the spaceship and there are people and they're talking, it's still great. It's an incredible movie. But I really would have loved maybe a feature film just about Wally and
She hated Mamma Mia, but she liked the scene
Two
with the
thumbs
robots.
up. I'm gonna go see it again. Loved it.
All right, there's some people have been waiting. They're waiting for the
Dark
Knight.
Knight.
Hold it, folks. All right, settle down now.
I gotta talk quick. Shh, don't talk anymore. Because it's like 1:08.
Oh, God.
The Dark Knight, of course, everybody knows it is the sequel to Batman Begins, the 2005 Christopher Nolan directed origination of. Now we're not seeing the Batman of. Oh my gosh, what's his name? You know, the Batman with Michael Keaton. Who's the director?
You're asking me.
All right.
Come on.
Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. His whole vision.
You know,
the guy
folks.
that did. You know, the guy that.
Don't worry about
Johnny
it.
Depp's
Don't worry about
director guy.
Who cares?
Tim Burton. Tim Burton. It's not a Burton-esque. This is not Timothy Burton's
Okay.
Batman. This is a whole new Batman. It's closer to the I guess it's based on the Dark Knight graphic novels, because we're not going to call them comic books anymore. Directed by Christopher Nolan. He directed the first one. Christopher Nolan and his brother also wrote the script for this. And you'll know Christopher Nolan. He's a 37-year-old Londoner. He directed Insomnia, which is a great movie. Al Pacino and Hilary Swank. I can highly recommend that. And also Memento with Guy Pearce. Two very unusual movies, and I think he has a very unusual vision. The cast is basically the same. Well, no, it's not. Christian Bale plays Batman like the first one. Michael Caine plays Alfred like the first one. You've got Gary Oldman in a very unusual character for him. Gary Oldman you might know as probably Sirius Black. You'll know him most recently as Sirius Black in Harry Potter. But he also has had a history of playing incredible villains, and probably one of the scariest I've ever seen him is in a movie called True Romance with Christian Slater. If you've never seen True Romance and you want to see how evil Gary Oldman can play, you want to see that, because what an incredible transformation here. He plays Lieutenant Gordon, who becomes, of course, Commissioner Gordon. And Aaron Eckhart's new to it. He plays Harvey Dent, district attorney. You got Heath Ledger, of course. That's who. The movie is called The Dark Knight. It really should have been called The Joker's Wild, because this movie is much more about the Joker than the Batman.
And is he dead now?
He is dead.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger died of an accidental prescription overdose a couple of months ago. Very, very sad. I liked the movie. I didn't love it. And kills me to say that. And I probably wasn't going to say it until I heard Governor Patrick say, "Dare to be true." And I said, you know what? I better
Governor,
dare
you see
to
that
be
you had
true.
an impact on Eileen.
Because, you know, I absolutely love Heath Ledger. I've talked about him and his movies many times, and what I want is for people to definitely see Dark Knight, and people who are not familiar with Heath Ledger's work to go home and rent a couple of movies. I want you to rent A Knight's Tale so that you can see the young, vibrant,
Oh, that was him?
fanciful Heath Ledger, and just enjoy the incredible ability of this young man. And then I want you to see, if you haven't already, see Brokeback Mountain, because this was a man that was definitely going to be in the business for a long time with an incredible, he already has, like I said, an incredible body of work. Christian Bale was just okay this time as Batman. I loved him in the first one, and if you saw the first one, Batman Begins, and it's probably one of my favorite movies of all times. That is the incarnation of Batman. How did Batman become the Batman? And I love that movie. It had heart. It had soul. It had some action. This absolute opposite. It's action, 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 violence, violence, violence. Not all that much heart and soul. I thought Heath Ledger's performance was incredible. I loved Michael Caine as Alfred, the true friend to Batman. The story was very convoluted. I was with one of my daughters, and she's a very, very bright girl, and I had to continuously.
She's just like her father.
You know, I had to
her mother.
You know, she was like, I don't understand what's going on, and when you have to
She didn't even get it, did she? She didn't even catch it.
She's like her mom. I had to tell her what was going on, and that's not a good sign. How this garnered a PG-13.
That happens to people watching Talk of the Town sometimes.
How this garnered a PG-13 rating is beyond me as well. It just stopped short of an R. Incredibly violent. And I think it's kind of a parable almost for what's going on in the world, and especially the Iraq War, because all the good guys get killed in this movie. I'm going to say hundreds of police officers are killed in this movie. And they talk about the Joker being a creator of chaos, a man who does not care for morals or right or wrong. He's just in it to make a mess of things. And I did find a few digs like that, and I do think that Christopher Nolan had that kind of in mind as well. Aaron Eckhart was great as the district attorney trying to bring crime down. And there was a bit of a cameo by Eric Roberts, who I haven't seen in a long time, Julia Roberts' brother, who I always thought was a good actor. He plays a mafia kingpin. So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the mafia. We're dealing with Chinese business executives. We're dealing with Heath Ledger as the Joker and his minions. We're also dealing with another thing. At the beginning, all these Batman wannabes are around, and they're trying to...
They were all the other night at the movies.
I mean, oh really? People dressed like Batman?
Where have you been?
I haven't seen it. Well, I went during the day at 11 o'clock.
They had like showings all night long in Boston, and
people
dressed
like Batman? Oh, that's cool.
Dressed like all of them. Joker
so
also.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Morgan Freeman
I was looking for you.
Movie. I was working. Morgan Freeman plays Lucius Fox, and he's kind of the guy that helps Batman with all his cool gadgets. And they did a little bit of gadgetry, and I thought it was completely unnecessary. They put Batman in a new suit. It's ridiculous, wasted time. I just
the guy only had
wasn't
one
happy
suit.
with it. So there were definitely some things that I found not that good about it, and I was disappointed in some of this. I'm going to only give it 1.5 stars. I didn't think Christian Bale...
We don't do stars, we do thumb.
1.5 thumb.
I hit 1.5.
Thumb. Christian Bale's voice in it is really bizarre. In the first one, he kind of talks a little bit like this. In this one, he's... I don't know, I just didn't like his voice. And maybe that's petty, but it's the character. It's who he is, and it's...
And Eileen knows movies, folks, so...
I love movies.
My son's going this afternoon.
And they're going to like it. My kids liked it a lot. They
My
liked
son likes
it,
the violence and the action. They like
tons
the
of
action.
Violence, tons of action, and how it didn't get an R. Like I said, they just stop short. They'll like show, somebody getting shot but not show the blood. They'll show, or not show the aftermath, the person maybe being thrown into the wall. They just stop short. But the incredible amount of violence in it, I didn't think Heath Ledger was all
was unnecessary.
Yeah, I really felt it. It took away, and I know we're talking chaos, and I know, but it was just like, I felt like, it was just too much. And I honestly didn't think Heath Ledger was scary. He was definitely creepy. I thought he played the character dead on, and I do believe...
That's almost better than scary. Creepy.
I agree. And I love how he loves to tell people the story of how he got his scars. He's wonderful.
So that's going
to be he'll be nominated for an Academy Award. He'll get it. There's no question.
No, he won't get it.
He will. He'll get it. He's dead. He'll get it.
He's dead. He won't get it.
No, he will. He will. That's what I'm saying.
No,
and he deserves it.
He won't get it.
He better, because he deserves it. Let me just quickly tell you 2 things you must stay away from. Get Smart, which has been out for a long time, so probably if you were going to see it, you've seen it. I feel bad for you. It was absolutely terrible. I would have walked out after 30 minutes, but Tom was having a good nap, so I couldn't leave. I hated it.
Tom's her husband, for folks that haven't watched the show before.
Didn't have any of the charm of the TV show, and it was just kind of whiny, and I just didn't like it. And another one that I saw, Mamma Mia, and I really shouldn't have seen it because I didn't want to see it, but my girls did want to see it.
It sounds like you went to Mamma Mia with an attitude.
I did. I went with an attitude,
so,
but you know what?
Come on. How can you be objective if you got an attitude?
Let me tell you what I hated about it, because I can appreciate
everything
things in film. It was directed by a woman named Phillida Lloyd, and I'm always the champion of female directors. She's a 50-year-old from London. She directed the stage play, and I think that's what she thought she had in front of her. Okay. People on a stage. It was stilted. It was boxed in. The choreography was horrific. The lighting. Meryl Streep looked like an old hag.
Well, she's getting up there.
She's a beautiful woman, and with the right makeup and the right lighting,
She's more
even
beautiful.
you look good.
You're killing me.
But she was awful. Nobody could sing in it. Meryl Streep actually has a decent voice, and if you want to see Meryl Streep sing, I recommend Postcards from the Edge, a great movie, and she gets to sing well in that.
But not Mamma Mia.
Not Mamma Mia. The music, it's ABBA's music. If you love ABBA, see it. If you saw the play and
You
loved
love ABBA.
it,
I can tell you love ABBA music.
I don't mind it. I don't hate it. If you saw the stage play and you loved it, go see it. You know who was in the theater with me and my girls? A bunch of older couples, and they loved it. They were clapping, they were cheering. So most people probably like it. All the kids and people, well, not people my age, but the kids that saw it, they didn't like it. Like I said, bad choreography, horrible singing. Pierce Brosnan, trust me, there are Irishmen that can sing and Irishmen that can't sing, and he definitely can't sing at all. Was he Welsh?
Eileen isn't opinionated, you can tell.
The only one that was any good in the whole thing was a young girl, Amanda Seyfried, who played Sophie, Meryl Streep's young daughter. And I mean, the whole story is just appalling, if you ask me. I don't know, it's 1:16 and we're out of time. Probably out of time. Don't want to.
Folks.
So don't see Get Smart. Don't see Mamma Mia. Don't waste your time. Don't rent the videos. Just avoid them at all costs.
Wow.
That's it.
I think say goodbye to the folks at home.
Bye, folks at home.
Oh, she's aggravated. See, she run out of time. She does this every week. She starts nice, and it's like a motor, and it starts revving up, and then at the end she's like mad at you folks because she ran out of time. Well, I'm not mad at you. Thank you for watching Talking Town, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.